But I wanted to make a proper like walkthrough for other rogues to get this mace, and more importantly for other rogues to solo this guy. Because once you've got a decent set of gear and combat spec, this is easily doable. I haven't tried this with the hemorrhage build. I don't see why you couldn't. I personally seem to have better luck at stuff like this with Adrenaline Rush and Blade Flurry, but you know, maybe it's possible with a hemorrhage build. I don't really feel like spending another 25 gold to respec again to try it. But, you know, if for some reason I get some traction on this and people would like to see that, I'll go redo this video 3 times. I'll go to it as attacker spec, I'll go do it as a hemorrhage spec, and obviously we've got the combat version that we've already done, or I'm about to do. So again, this is Ghok Bashguud. He is a rare spawn in Lower Blackrock Spire. You can solo him once you've got pretty decent gear and you've got a pretty decent grasp of the class. It's not that bad. I choose to use a couple different consumables to make this significantly easier. You may or may not need them, but you might as well take them just in case, you know what I mean? So you don't want to try this multiple times. Again, here's his loot table. This is the mace that I was personally after because I can't find a better offhand mace that I can currently access in the game, you know, outside of raiding. Here is the other thing I'd like to get from him, because I think for PvP this could be pretty funny. I'd like to just for the lulz do some dueling with dual wielding these things. Like it could be interesting. And then this cloak is kind of crappy in my opinion. I mean, just look at that. The plus 15 agility makes up for the 15 stamina, but then you've got 20 attack power instead of 16. This is just a superior cloak all around. If you don't have a decent cloak yet, it's not terrible. So, you know, if you've still got a green on, why not? But I'm certainly hoping I don't get this today. I would love to either have another one of these, because they aren't unique, or to get the mace, I mean the fist weapon. So, now on to the actual walkthrough and how we get this done. So, you're going to start in Blackrock Spire. The instance upper and lower is one actual zone. You just kind of go 2 different directions when you get inside. And so, what you're going to do is right inside, you're going to stealth right up the middle. Upper Blackrock Spire is up here to your left. There is a locked door. As a matter of fact, later on as a rogue, something that you'll be probably asked to do will be to find Jed for future runs. So you can make a little /target macro for Jed, and you just come to this door and then pop it a couple of times. He has like a 30-second patrol path, so you can definitely make the argument for sitting there for up to a minute even and spamming that. Just to see if he's in that run or not. I haven't seen him personally since coming back to Classic, so I don't know exactly how touchy that find macro is. And before I get any further, I just want to let you guys know. So we've only just left the first room, and we dropped out of the window there. And this is where you can immediately start to target Ghok if he's up in the run. Now, spoiler, I already found that he was up in the run. And then I started this video. I wasn't going to do a full stream of me looking for an instance ID where he exists. But if you hit your target macro from this position here, which is immediately after you drop out of that window, if he's up, you'll get him. So I just did /tar space Ghok. I did not do his last name. In the beginning, I was doing a target macro with his last name with quotes. Just to be safe, I was doing both of them. But now that I've seen him and I've tested it, this is all you need. /tar space Ghok. That's it, and that'll catch him. And from here, it takes about 3 or 4 minutes to get to him. So you're just going to stealth here. Once you get to this part right here, you can go ahead and come out of stealth and just jump off this ledge to this ledge to this ledge. Right before you get to the edge of this, you'll stealth again because you won't take fall damage as long as you trained your safe fall. Okay. And now you head straight up this corridor. Now, that's the patrol. These are the 2 patrols that you have to worry about. The timing worked out that they were right next to me as I dropped. but they come through this pathing here. But now that they're both gone, that's easy. Done. You can certainly make the argument, if you're familiar with it and you've done this before. I'm sorry about that beeping. If you're familiar with it and you've done this before, you could maybe make the argument that you want to farm the pyromancers. You can individually pull all three of these groups. This group can be pulled from this corner for a line of sight. This group can be pulled directly in its corner. You can fight them where they're at. So you can pull them to here, and you can pull them where they're at, and then you can fight them where they're at. Obviously, it gets a bit tricky. What I would recommend here, I haven't done it, but if you're going to do it, what I would recommend is probably a line of sight pull, line of sight blind this guy when he comes around a corner, maybe blind one of the other casters and pop evasion and absorb his damage via evasion while you burn down the pyromancer. Once you burn down the pyromancer, just go ahead and vanish, and then reset pull. You should be able to solo him. That pattern's worth 100 gold. You could definitely make the argument that it's pretty good farming. I've not really bothered. I hate low probability for just potentially some money. It's just not worth it to me. It would have been cool if Crystal Fang was also up, but she's not. Crystal Fang spawns in this position here. This is just a regular Spire Spider this time, but it is another rare spawn in Upper Blackrock or Lower Blackrock, and she drops an offhand or a dagger that has a pretty neat PvP proc. So, pretty interesting. I typically hug the right side for the spiders here. I've never had them aggro from this right side, as close as and uncomfortable as it gets. I've never had them aggro. That's not to say that it might not ever happen to you one day. That's how I cleanly get through there. One shooter here, you've got one patrol that'll walk up and down this hallway. You can wait for him, or you can just run past him and run up. It kind of depends on how good you are at this jump. Some people will get stuck on this jump for like a minute. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't, honestly. So, yeah, I didn't that time. So immediately once you get up this step, you can do this stealth, but it's kind of easier to not be stealth when you do it. You're going to want to re-stealth because these guys will aggro. If those bugs aggro, there's no way you can solo it down. You have to vanish. Don't try, you'll die. They all have about 3,000 health each, or 4,000. And there's just too many of them. You can't do it. So here we are, 11:11. Let's wish for a lucky run. You got one patrol that comes through here, and the same patrol in this hallway here that will stop at the bottom of these steps and kind of just come right into this room. They're not that bad because of the level difference. Right as I say that, of course, I get aggro. Hilarious. But yeah, I mean, obviously be a little smarter than that. So this is where he spawns. That's his